Everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We're very excited to talk to you about VISE certification. We've got some additional folks streaming in, so we'll just wait a few more minutes before we get started. So hang tight, take that last quick break or grab some coffee, and we'll get started shortly.
Jeremy, how was the March event at eBay? I was not able to attend. Answer was there.
It was great. It's our biggest one yet, so it was great. We had a really great attendance, real diverse audience, a packed agenda, and I think we got some really great feedback. I think everybody had a good time.
Yeah. The only unpleasant part was the drive back I had to go see some family in the Bay Area, so it took me 2 hours and 25 minutes. It's pretty much bumper to bumper traffic the whole way there. It was quite the road trip that I wasn't expecting.
And how many miles was that? Like 20?
It was, I think, maybe like 45. So yeah. Not that many miles at all.
Yeah, no, we had to go up to the city the next day for a couple meetings too. It wasn't too that bad, but it was enough.
Yeah, it's painful. All right.
So, do you think we can get started and perhaps
let's get started, and then we're recording this as well, right? So as people join in, we can go ahead and fill them in. So give me just one moment. Share my screen. Okay, can everyone see that?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. All right, thank you everyone for joining. As I said, we're very excited about this exciting topic on how to get WISE certified. We've got some experts here who you'll hear from, and before that, we'll just do a quick round of introductions and give you a very quick overview of what RepairDesk does. I believe everybody on this call is already familiar, but we'll just give you a brief overview of who we are and what we've been up to, and then we'll pass it over to Jeremy and Marin. All right, so let's do a quick round of introductions. My name is Ansar Khan. I'm the VP of Sales and Marketing here at RepairDesk. Usman, over to you.
My name is Usman. I started RepairDesk back in 2015. Jeremy?
Jeremy Willis. I've been on board with WISE since the beginning, so I think we date back to about 2017. 2018 we launched in 2020, but.
And I'm Marin Galvin. I oversee the Reverse Logistics and Service Quality Program at CTIA, which is the program that's focused on developing standards and certification programs to support the repair and refurbishment of mobile devices. Under that program, which is consists of about 100 different industry members, is the WISE brand, which we'll talk about today.
Amazing. Thank you all for that. And for all the attendees, there is a chat icon that you can use to submit questions. So please do that throughout. We'll answer them as we go along. And then we do have some time reserved at the end to go over any Q&A. All right. So before we get into WISE, so a quick overview of who RepairDesk is. We're the leading point of sale provider for independent repair stores. We've been around for a long time, serving thousands of stores all over the world. And in addition to an awesome POS system, we do also integrate with a bunch of other tools that you use. That means accounting softwares, e-commerce platforms, and a bunch of other tools that repair stores use every day. We also have our own tool feature set that pretty much covers every part of the business. So everything from inventory management to payments and reporting. In addition to the point of sale, we also have our own phone system that ties in directly with the point of sale to offer you an integrated experience and make it a lot easier for your customers to get in touch with you and give you the ability to use one number for all your calls and SMS messages. And lastly, we recently launched our AI receptionist that significantly increases revenue by helping you answer every call and fully integrates with RepairDesk, so you can create tickets and jobs on the fly without ever having to talk to the customer initially. And everything is recorded and transcribed, so your staff can pick up wherever the AI receptionist left off. So that's a little bit about us. But now I will pass it on to Jeremy and Marin to talk about WISE. So I'm going to stop sharing, folks, and you should be able to share right after that.
Excellent. All right, are we in full screen there?
There
There we go.
we go.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. We appreciate you taking time out of your shop or repairs. I know things get pretty busy. That AI tool should be pretty awesome for your future. I know it is hard sometimes to answer every call that comes in. Sometimes I have trouble reaching back out to some of you that have called to learn more about WISE certification, because you might be the only one in the shop that day. And so that should be a pretty exciting tool for you all to use. So, I'm Jeremy Willis with WISE certification. WISE certification, just to give you a little background, was built in collaboration with the industry. So there was a need years ago for there to be an industry recognized certification that both technicians and retailers could seek out to differentiate themselves in the marketplace. Now, as you know, it's changed a lot over the years. We've had some consolidation, and we've had some shops kind of come and go. But I feel like, it's a strong time right now to, take a look at these opportunities to become WISE certified and explore some of the potential partnerships that we are hopefully going to have on deck. We can chat about that in a little bit. But, I spend a lot of my time in the field. I always have, dating back to probably 2013, just spending time in different cities visiting repair shops. And there's just, that really kind of drove the motivation to see if we couldn't get industry together to kind of sit and talk through some of this. So just so you know, CTIA and WISE, Marin and Jeremy, we don't make these decisions for what WISE certification is going to be. It truly is built in collaboration. That's something I definitely want to make sure people do realize. We didn't just invent this one day and say, hey, this is what we think. This was literally built in a room, several rooms, and several phone calls with industry leaders, with OEMs. You had Apple, Samsung, Motorola. We had the network carriers like Sprint at the time, but T-Mobile, AT&T, along with some of the insurance companies, Assurion, Assurant, Square Trade, State Farm, or Square Trade, Allstate has been a long time contributor with us. And then just we had members from your actual community. So we had everything from, the heads of the bigger franchises to the voices of some of the independent providers. And we really, wanted and valued the feedback for the independent providers, because you do operate differently day to day than the franchises do. So anyway, long way of saying that this took a lot of work and a lot of people volunteering their time to kind of talk through what a best in class expectation should be for consumers when they're looking for a repair shop, and then what valuable skills do we need to be validating with technicians. And so through this, we came up with a level 1, level 2 for technicians, as well as the retail certification. So I guess I should have started. WISE does stand for the Wireless Industry Service Excellence. That's an OWL. But actually, if you really want to know, it's a guitar pick, because that's something we all see in our shops every day. So when you see the OWL, that's what we want your customers to see, and we want them to feel that they're finding a trusted repair. So this also goes beyond just retail and technicians. Just to give you some background, we also have a certification program for the larger like repair depots, where you might have 100, 130 employees in there doing repair, and refurbishers. And now we're rapidly moving to working closely with marketplaces like Amazon and eBay to validate what they're looking for in a quality reseller. So we've kind of evolved. We really got involved in this a long time ago for the retail repair shop and the technician, and now it's evolved into much larger facilities. All, you know, like I said, the marketplaces, as well as we do release grading standards for devices as well. So the industry has kind of a baseline standard for if they're bringing in devices for processing or if they're going to resell themselves direct consumer. We have some, it's not required, but the industry also has collaborated and it's becoming widely adopted. That also is coming soon for Chromebook repair too. And I should point out, we do get a lot of questions. We do have a Chromebook repair technician certification as well, along with the smartphone and tablet. So as I mentioned, you know, we're really looking for ways to differentiate ourselves. I go back to, you know, my time in the field. I actually got to do quite a bit of just kind of pop-ins down in Texas a couple weeks ago, and we're just, you know, seeing different with the inability to really hone in on SEO and Google and you know, differentiate. It's hard to differentiate yourself today with that and with the AI search results. So consumers, when I go out in the field, I kind of like to just pretend like I'm a consumer. Like I broke my phone and I'm going to go on Google and try to find a quality repair shop. And most of the time that criteria for me is obviously be something I would recommend to somebody else. And two, just, you know, my family, I have 2 daughters. I would want to make sure that that's kind of my standard. I want this to feel safe for everybody. So, and not to talk bad about any specific shops, but along the way, I see a little bit of everything. The Wild West is still kind of the word we use. You know, what may look like a widely certified and trusted repair shop on a website or on Google sometimes doesn't always end up that way when you get there in person. So want to make sure that with our validation, we'll speak on kind of what we look for, that we're going through and checking all that every year. We're ensuring that you do look like what you appear to be online, and you do have consistently have certified technicians in the shop. And, you know, we take that very seriously, and it's not for everybody. I get it. And this isn't, some people just don't feel it's for them, but we really see an uptick right now in independent shops. We're getting some good organic growth on the independent side. And I think people are starting to also see kind of what I experience is in their own market. You know, they really want to try to stand out. They want somebody to come in their store and really have a much different experience than, I guess, just to beat up on the one, Marin, if I may. I visited a repair shop a couple weeks ago that was fully repair shop online and fully repair shop on the outside, but it was actually not on the inside. So when we see that a lot, like it might be, you know, different smoking accessories, guns, you know, just different things that may not freak out some people, but to the just general everyday consumer, that's not really what we're looking for. If you say you're a repair shop, we want to validate you're a repair shop, and we want to stamp our seal of approval and put an owl up on your door and make sure your technicians get that lovely certificate to hang on the wall. And so that just gives customers like a nice warm fuzzy feeling.
Alex, just to expand on that, Jeremy, I think especially when you're out in the field and being a part of this program since its inception, we know that there is a lot of misconceptions about the program that are out there. And so we love these opportunities. So thank you to RepairDesk for letting us just kind of address the folks in the community that we're looking to engage. Because at the core of this, it's really kind of this effort of all boats rise together. If you look across the ecosystem, we have about 100 companies that are supporting the Y certification initiatives. And those are big name companies, the OEMs, the carriers, the insurance providers. And it's because when we create trust in repair, when we create create trust in pre-owned as an option, then we all win. And that's kind of like this driving factor, that we have this common mission. So even though there's competitors, it's really, at the end of the day, a customer walking into that experience Jeremy just highlighted is no good for anyone. And really that's why we built Wise, was to do that demarcation of kind of the quality guys that are doing it right versus those that are, we like to say, nefarious actors or have a different motive. So number one question we get when we talk to retailers, okay, what's in it for me? Why does it matter? We kind of just hit on this. At the end of the day, the core mission of Wise is to build consumer trust and confidence. It is very difficult, if anyone's in the marketing business, to obviously build a brand overnight. But from day one, before this was even a launch program, we want that decal that you see there on the right-hand side to be equivalent to the Energy Star on a building, equivalent to Michelin star in the restaurant world. We have grand plans to get to the point where the consumer is seeing that, and then they feel just like that check mark on social media. They feel that this is a trusted, credible place that they can take their device to. When we look at statistics related to the secondary market, the number one concern that people have when it comes to trade-in or even repair is the security of the device. So there is statistical evidence that we need something to encourage them, for them to feel trusted, for them to feel safe, and who they're handing their device over. Also, we hit on this, but differentiating those certified stores from competitors. We are trying to put a mark on those that are doing the right. They are trained effectively. They are providing an elevated customer experience. They are consistent across their brands. So if it's a multi-storefront, that consistency and that delivery is across the board. It's not just isolated to one great shop owner or one great technician. Safety is very important, of course, in our industry, where there is lithium-ion device and safe battery handling that is required. And we want to make sure that at the end of the day, the customer is getting the experience and wants to think about repair as an option when that time comes that they're either thinking about trade-in, upgrading, whatever it may be. We do have support from OEM and marketplace programs today. So Jeremy touched on this a little bit. We aren't just CTIA and the WISE program, but like I said, there are many, many companies behind the scenes that are developing these standards for best practice and for certification. To name a few, Samsung in the US and in Canada requires WISE certification for their independent service provider program, as well as their ASP program. We are in conversations with Europe, and we do want to expand out that requirement across Samsung globally. But if anyone's familiar, Samsung does operate kind of geographically, so those decisions are made at the different Samsung headquarters around the world. SquareTrade and Allstate, as Jeremy highlighted, also requires WISE certification for, is there in warranty, Jeremy?
Out of warranty.
Out of warranty, sorry, out of warranty, which is a great partnership that came on last year. We've also had endorsements from Apple. Apple has sponsored WISE certification for their ASP network. And then when you go outside of retail specific, we do have, we see requirements for certified techs and RFPs. We have Amazon, who requires WISE certification for their sellers to qualify for premium. We're also working on a program with them for their renewed program as well. And then we also see other marketplaces use it to fast track onboarding. So if any of your businesses are doing a marketplace sales, oftentimes channels like Rebelow, once they know you have WISE certification, they'll kind of fast track that vetting and validation and onboarding process based on seeing that qualification. And then lastly, I'm going to dive into this a little bit more because I know it's a big topic in our industry, but we do have a public retailer directory. We do some support in campaigns to draw traffic to that with our partnership with Google. So I'll touch on that in a little bit more later in the presentation. So what does it take to get retail certified? So WISE certification for retailers is at the store level. What that means is we are auditing every store individually. I mentioned that consistency is kind of one of those cornerstones to the program. We work with many national and even global franchisees. And we want to make sure that just because one brand has been certified, that we're actually checking the quality, the safety, the experience for each individual location. Therefore, if you do have multiple stores, each of your stores would apply individually. We do have owners with multiple storefronts that maybe get one certified. Maybe they get a couple, so it's not a requirement. If you do one, you have to do them all, but each one will certify individually. If you do share technicians across those stores, you are able to share the technician certification requirement. So as a part of every store application, you are required to have one technician level 2 certified. Level 2 is our hands-on certification. So technician training is a leveled certification program. The first one is certifying that the technician has the basic knowledge about repair. It's a lot of fundamentals. I refer to it as the blocking and tackling of repair. We're not asking you specific questions on OEM or flagship models. We want to know that you have good fundamentals when it comes to safety. You know, ESD safety, battery safety fundamentals. We want to know that before you operate or pick up a screwdriver, that you understand the mechanics of the phone. You understand basic concepts like Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and cellular connectivity. And we also want you to know the difference between what a level 1 and level 2 repair is. For a technician to obtain level 1, it is an online knowledge exam. It's completely self-served. You can go on, you can enroll. With that enrollment, you get a study guide that was created by the industry. It is a robust study guide, about 100 pages of everything you need to know about repair and best practice. It's OEM agnostic, so it's not going to be what you're familiar with repair guides for specific OEMs, but it's more, again, just those level set best practices. We touched on customer experience as well. So with that, you have that study guide. You can take the exam whenever you want. It is 65 questions, all multiple choice. Some are drag and drop, so we want to see you connect component of the phone drawings to a line drawing of a device, or connect tool images to the name of the tools themselves. Once you receive level 1, the intent of that is not to trick you. It is to train you on industry best practice. Then you're eligible for level 2. Again, it's kind of like getting your driver's license. You take that online component, and then we want to see that you're able to get behind the wheel. So for level 2, there are several options. If you are not someone who loves to read and write, and you love picking up screwdrivers and doing what you do best, then we do have hands-on level 2 test out, where you can take a video of you doing a full disassembly, full assembly, show that power on, record that video, send it in, get the check mark for level 2. If you're like, I've been doing this for years, I can answer a couple 40 questions specifically on hands-on repair, then you could enroll in our test out. Our test out is very specific to repair procedures. We're going to say, all right, you're doing a battery replacement and you've just taken the glass off. What's the next step that you're going to take? It also is very specific to Samsung and Apple devices for that content. We've had Apple technicians, actual employees of Apple, take it and be fine with the Samsung content. We've had Samsung technicians that work for Samsung take it and be fine with the Apple content. So again, it's just to make sure you're well-rounded and you know what you're doing when you're operating, when you're doing a repair. So that is also either online or, like I said, hands-on. 1 level 2 technician per store. If you have technicians that float, that can qualify. And again, everything is designed to be for real customer-facing environments. And Jeremy mentioned we do have Chromebook certification available for techs today, but when it comes to the retail certification, we only certify locations doing smartphone and tablet repair. So if you're doing Chromebooks too, that's great. But if for some reason there's a repair shop out there that is doing exclusively PCs or exclusively Chromebooks, then you would not be eligible for WISE certification.
Good point.
Across the market, so we are a global program. We did start in the US. That is because CTIA is the North American Wireless Association. We service the North American operators such as Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T. But the program was always meant to be global. Obviously, everybody in the program today, many of them have global counterparts. They operate on a global scale, and these devices move throughout the supply chain or reverse the supply chain globally. That is to say, we have been really focused on our growth in North America. We've expanded out in Canada the last 3 years. So we have been really focused on driving that growth in that market. We are putting boots on the ground to expand our presence in Europe organically. We do have certified stores that have found us and have come through the program. But as I mentioned, that Samsung partnership, these are the things we want to be able to put behind the brand, put as benefits to you all that are opting in to get the certification. And so we're really working to build out some of those partnerships, endorsements, and benefits to the program globally. And so as a RLSQ, Reverse Logistics Service Quality Program as a whole, we are looking at distinct markets, but that's kind of the retail of our footprint today. We also have over 24,000 techs that are certified all throughout the world, and then 14,000 level 2. So again, level 1 is just an option if you do have folks on staff, and that's a good stepping stone too. As you're listening to this, if you you're interested, but maybe you don't want to go straight to the store certification, sponsoring it for your employees is a really great benefit. It's something that stays with them. It doesn't stay with your organization. So you can either sponsor it for themselves, have them take it. They get an industry recognized credential. Level 1 is really just proving the customer facing front of house type activities. And if they want to go on, or you want to sponsor them on to level 2, then that's of course available to them. Once they're level 2 certified, then of course your store is eligible if you want to apply for Y certification. Globally, we have over 2,300 retail certifications. That number grows and comes. It is an annual certification, so we do annual audits. So we do revoke certifications all the time, and then we have new stores on board all the time as well. So I kind of walked through this, but this is a good recap, and we will share these materials for you all. But to get started, the main takeaway is to start with your techs, identify an employee or employees to go forward, or yourself to go forward for technician certification. We've linked an FAQ that answers all your questions. We manage a learning management platform. We call it the WISE platform, where we facilitate these certifications. So it's as easy as registering an account and enrolling on your own time. Once those technicians or a technician is level 2 certified, then you can apply for certification. We have a full requirements document that outlines and kind of gives color around everything we require of our Y certified shops today. But we understand you guys are busy. You have a lot going on. You have customers in your shops. You're running businesses. So we make it really easy by giving you a checklist, which is a one-pager that just shows all the documentation you'll need for that application process. The application can be submitted online. We do ask for basic information in terms of who's filling out this form, and who your technicians are on site, what the address is, what kind of services you're offering. But then we do require some photo coverage, so we don't do on-site audits. Everything we do is virtual. And so we're going to ask you for pictures of your front of house. We're going to ask you for pictures of the outside of your store. When you go to the back of house, we want to see how you're securing your inventory overnight. For us, that means that you're locking up those customer devices if they're left overnight behind 2 locks. Front door doesn't count, but if you have a safe and then that safe key is going in a cash box, then that counts as 2 locks. And we also want to see things like how you're recycling your batteries for safety. So we put that all on the checklist to make it really easy for you guys to prepare before submitting the online application. And then lastly, once you are authorized, you receive marketing materials to advertise and promote your business as Y certified. You also appear in our public directory, which I wanted to kind of do a live showing of and talk a little bit about some of the stuff that we're doing with Google Ads. So as many as you know, Google bans key Google ad words supporting repair, which was really because they were seeing a lot of nefarious activity of folks tricking consumers into providing information for them to get access to their device. Obviously, for Google, safety of their customers was a priority. And so they made a decision to ban all keywords. For you all, you live this every day, but it's pretty detrimental to advertising your businesses. I know people are creative and there's workarounds. And so when we started this program with our partnership with Google, we did want to, I'm sorry, I'm teeing up at the same time I'm talking. We wanted to position Y certification as an opportunity to have Google use it as a vetting and validation mechanism to release those keywords, basically showing these are credible entities. We as a third party and as industry has certified them, and then for Google to release it. And they've done this in other use cases like the lock industry and certain health industries as well. And so we've been on this very tall mountain to climb to work with Google in this aspect. Today, we are still on that mission, and we've had promising discussions, but when you're working with a large global technology firm, things don't move as fast as we would like. And so one of the kind of workarounds that we have positioned with them is to use our directory. So once you are a certified shop, you are put into our public directory. Is it showing my screen? Hopefully. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm on the right thing. You are put into our directory. Now, in the effort of transparency, because that's what we're all about, our directory is really not meant, it's not somewhere where we're seeing consumers are going first. It's somewhere where they might be using to, as we kind of grow and promote this directory across consumer base and across industry. But what we do is we work with Google and we run 1 or 2 campaigns a year that point to the individuals, the independents, store pages, which do have booking links. And we drive traffic using our account, which has been approved by Google, to run those keyword campaigns in certain markets, and then point that traffic back to these independents. Typically, this happens around November, which is National Repair Done Right Month. We are about to do it in the May-June timeframe because we're going to try something a little bit different in terms of how we're running those ads to see a greater lift. And so we do see the metrics from that in terms of how many organic traffic are clicking the book an appointment, how many are actually making calls. And so we are seeing that that's working. Again, trying to push and promote this to Google, that this is a great, safe way to release those keywords. So again, that's kind of the long image, but that's where we're at today. And this is also available. This is a public directory on the Y certification site. You can search by either franchisee name, company name, independent name, or by city or state. Hop back into my presentation. And please feel free, answer it said at the start, the chat is open. So if you've got questions along the way, please make sure to use it. Was someone
I see a lot of RepairDesk users on that retail directory.
That's great.
And it does create, in some markets, I won't promise every market, but in some markets, it does create some pretty valuable SEO in the search results. So when I'm out and about and I'm kind of digging up to see what repair shops are around, our Wise landing pages for our certified stores will show up pretty high organically.
And could you please share with the audience what are some benefits of being involved in the WISE program when you, let's say, when they're doing Samsung repairs?
So the Samsung independent
Specifically?
service.
I
For
mean,
the
any, yes.
Sorry.
Please go ahead. Yeah.
Are you
Anything
talking
you guys are doing on Samsung front where they get access to parts or they get access to repairs?
Yes, and yes, yeah. So the requirement to join the Samsung Independent Service Provider Program, both in the U.S. and in Canada, is that you have to have your store WISE certified, which in turn means you have WISE certified technicians, and then you will have access to parts directly, tools, some diagnostic software, and support from Samsung. So we've had a lot of great support from Samsung. Anytime one of our independent retailers is having like an issue with ordering or maybe something's out of stock, they've been really, really responsive to helping out. So it's a pretty nice relationship to have directly with Samsung.
And you
If
guys
anyone
called out.
has, please go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, I know you called out some, but just to share others that are in the program today, we do work with the three large national franchisees here in the States. So Batteries Plus, U-Break iFix, and Cell Phone Repair. Through that endorsement that I mentioned with Apple, we have AASPs, so notably Best Buy, Geek Squad. We are in Canada, so Jump Plus and London Drugs are big repair shops. Mobile Kangaroo up there, that was one of the ASPs. And then, of course, Samsung we've talked about, and then over in the UK, Pocket Geek. And this isn't all of them. This was just kind of some of the bigger brands to mention that are in the program today.
I know the owner of Pocket Geek. He owns a couple of independent repair stores where he is RepairDesk as well. And one of his stores is in Harold's, which is a really nice store. And yeah, I mean, so yeah.
Yes, we're trying to get them to certify that store specifically because it's great marketing.
Yeah.
So we want that decal right in the square.
I'll send him a message today.
Yeah, wonderful. We love it. So yeah, so it is kind of a lot, and you know, we don't want to push too much information, so we kind of stay surface level for now. But if you're interested in hearing more, whether it be the technician program, whether you're interested, like Jeremy said at the beginning of the call, our efforts around grading, which we didn't even talk about, you want to get your store certified, or even talk about if your business is doing sales on marketplaces today, and how we work with those marketplaces, then feel free to reach out and book a meeting. So as a part of this link, you can kind of pick out which topic you want to talk about. We're happy to talk about it all if that's of interest. But yeah, just wanted to use this time to kind of share some information, debunk some myths about the program, and then open it up for people that want to engage further.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that. I think we have one question from David Jeremy. He's interested in speaking with you. And he's already WISE Level 2 certified. So if it's okay, we'll pass along David's information to you and you can reach out to him.
Love it.
Yeah, we're here. There's a couple other folks on our team on the call. We're here to answer your questions and try to help you through the process. Like I said, I understand some days probably get a little tough when you're busy and you maybe don't have but one or two people in the shop, but it really doesn't take that entirely long. Once you see kind of the audit process, really just jumping in and getting the technician certified, like Marin said, it's a great first kind of step in the right direction. And then, you can kind of proceed. But the retail audit, like she mentioned, if you have your devices locked up overnight, because we all know that cell phone repair shops are targeted, And so we want to make sure consumer devices are locked up. The battery safety and recycling, and those are really the only ones that people sometimes get like triggered up with. But like we're here to help you kind of come up with solutions. So we've helped people kind of walk through that. Like if you need an R2 recycler in your area, or you need to just kind of talk through what the the devices locked up are going to be like, you won't just, if you come in and you apply and there's a couple missing things or a couple things we're not going to fail you. We'll talk through it and try to get some corrective action so we can get you on board. But it's a big misconception I have when I'm out talking to repair shops is we are very fortunate. We do have the big three, Batteries Plus and CPR and U-Break iFix and some of these other larger brands and internationally. But this is really for everybody. We want everybody to have the same opportunity to come in and stand, kind of best in class in their market.
And if you are WISE certified, we love to promote your business. So if it's your people that have the certification, we do have a lot of industry channels to market to the Apples, the Samsungs, the carriers. We love telling the story of small independent business owners. And so it is something that we, from a content perspective, deliver to industry. So if you're interested in doing a little showcase in our industry newsletter or sharing pictures of your technicians who have come through certification, we are all about promoting them on an industry scale.
Yeah, and like I said, Marin touched on it earlier, the technicians really, really do appreciate this when stores sponsor it for them. I mean, we see people posting on social media all the time with their certificates. Like I said, when I'm in person with the store, they're real excited to show it to you, or they'll say, "Oh, I don't have it here. My mom has it on the wall at home." It's sometimes we get caught up as small business owners and just kind of everything else going on in the world, but there are a lot of folks out there that really like fixing phones and tablets and computers, and this kind of validates them, and it's industry recognized. And if you see the numbers, it's growing to the point where now we have employers that are recognizing this. So this might be an opportunity for you to, if you're looking for a technician in your market, to maybe put something out there like you're looking for a WISE certified technician. We've got quite a few in population now.
I've also shared the link in the chat to book a call with a WISE team. So they've shared their calendar link if you want to speak to them directly to learn more about their program, or if you have any questions, you can reach out to them. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Marin and Jeremy. It was always fun to get to hang out with you in person or virtually. Obviously, traveling from Pakistan to US takes a lot of hours, and really looking forward to seeing you guys in October. But thanks for taking a time out. We'll send out the email to people who are not able to attend. And yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Thank you guys for letting us.
We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Have a great day.
Bye.